Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Discuss, where we examine issues shaping our society and seek solutions through informed dialogue. Today, we focus on crisis that touches every household, every community, and the future of the nation: food insecurity and hunger in Nigeria. Across the country, millions of Nigerians are struggling to afford basic meals, raising food prices, insecurity in farming communities, climate change, flooding, and disruption in agricultural production have combined to create what many experts now describe as a growing humanitarian emergency. From rural communities, farmers focused on abandoned land due to violence, to urban families battling the rising cost of staples like rice, maize, and gari. The question remains, how did Nigeria get here, and what must be done to ensure food security for all? Right now, we are set to examine the scale of the challenges and the humanitarian implications and the policies that could help Nigeria move from crisis to suitable food security. For context, let's look at the statistics of the key factors or facts of Nigerian food emergency from over the years. The key statistics on food insecurity in Nigeria shows that about 27.2 million Nigerians are currently facing food insecurity across the country, and it has been projected to rise to about 34.7 million people between June and August of 2026 if urgent interventions are not implemented. In the year 2024, about 26.5 million Nigerians were projected to face food insecurity. By 2025, the number was expected to rise, and then we saw a significant rise to about 33.1 million people. This shows a steady and an alarming increase in Nigerian hunger across the country. Children and malnutrition is another major concern, where 5.4 million children and about 800,000 pregnant or breastfeeding women are at the risk of acute malnutrition in Nigeria. Around 1.8 million children could suffer from severe acute malnutrition, requiring urgent treatment. Some estimates indicate over 3.5 million children under the ages of 5 are severely malnourished nationwide. Our investigation helped us to discover that the most region affected, which include Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, conflict and insecurity in these regions have forced many farmers off of their land. Internal displaced persons, about 650,000 internally displaced persons in such states as Borno, Sokoto, Zamfara are projected to face severe food crisis conditions. Today we'll be having a conversation with someone who is very particular about humanitarian activities, and he's looking also to help cushion the effects of this. Before we get into the conversation with it, we saw a significant rise in the cost of fuel in the market, in the filling stations. Some filling stations are selling at 1,090 naira, some are selling at 1,095 naira, and some are selling at 1,100 naira, depending on where you're getting your petrol from. Gradually, we're seeing that fuel queues are coming back, are returning to Nigeria due to the crisis going on between Iran, US, and Israel. We took a trip to the market to find out what the cost of food items are, and then we got reactions from people on how the cost of food is rising, while some said the prices are still fair. After this, we'll be introducing our guest who would help us x-ray this major conversation. Stay with us.
It really affects our business seriously, honestly, because not only the transportation, you see sometimes it affects only transport fare, but this time around, honestly, it affects even the price of the goods in the market. There's a very high price in the market. Something that you buy, maybe like a carton of apple, we used to buy it like 60,000 before. So that one of 60,000 now is up to 65, 67. There is no standard price in the market now. As a result of this, there's no standard price. Honestly.
Like last year, some things are cheap, but during this Ramadan of 18, so something like beans now. Before we buy 1,000, now it's 1,500. But prices of rice is still okay. Red oil is still okay, but groundnut oil is still high. So Gary is still normal, it's fine. So at least things are coming down, down.
Is it because of the Ramadan, or you think it's because of the fuel that just went up from 870 to 1,095 naira?
I believe that it's because of the fuel, not because of the rice. It should be the fuel because they transport those things down to Abuja here. So it's because of the transport and all those things, I swear.
That's the truth, because of the fuel, because they are transporting all these things down to this place. And although before the fuel increase, we are thinking it's because of this, they are fasting, this is Ramadan time. That is why everything is just getting increased. Because naturally we are enjoying things the way everything was just coming, that the price was normal. Before you get to know it, it's not the same way we bought last time. They increase everything. So we didn't know. Maybe after the fasting, some of the things will still reduce, like egg, all those things, beans, according to how my neighbor explained initially. So that is how we are hoping for the best. We are hoping for the best after the fasting. But they should still do something about the fuel things, because we are transporting ourselves down to this place. Because we that is a trade that we will still increase our own things. Because if the transport increase, we will not just stay back to the increments, like we will still be selling as the things we are selling before. You understand? We'll still increase our own. So by so doing, we affect the masses. So we should please plead to the governor to do something about the fuel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shola Mishe, for taking our time to join us on today's edition of Discuss, where we'll be discussing something very, very interesting that is particular to the general masses, the whole of Nigeria, and also Africa at large. Food insecurity. Ever since COVID-19, there have been series of concerns, and then food shortage globally. Now we're looking to dive deep into the conversation, and joining me to have this conversation is the founder of Focus Security Guard here in Abuja, Dr. Shola Mishe. Thank you so much for joining us on Discuss today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yes. Nigeria is said to be blessed, and we can see that Nigeria is blessed with vast agricultural resources and large workforce, yet millions of citizens still suffer hunger, malnutrition. Experts warn that without urgent and coordinated action, the situation could worsen. So to bring this to light and understanding of scope, many analysts have described food insecurity in Nigeria as humanitarian emergencies. From your perspective, Doctor, how well can you say that severe situation based on what we have on the ground, how well can you say that this has transcended into a national emergency?
Yes. First of all, my name is Dr. Shola Mishe, GP. I'm privileged to be the founder of Shola Mishe's Foundation. I'm president Focus Guard Security Limited. The issue of food security in our country is all over. It's a global thing. However, I decided to go into the foundation aspects, that is my NGO. Because while doing my security job, doing recruitment and what have you, doing disarmament, it interests you that I actually carried out the first disarmament in the state, in the country, after Bayelsa. So while doing this job, the security job, I realized that, look, the first thing to do is to reach out to the grassroots. And talking about the grassroots, once you get the grassroots, you're able to conquer part of it. And while doing it, we realize that we need to reach out to these people. And many of them that are into this today now, it's out of hunger and what have you. And that actually metamorphosed into this food security you're talking about today.
Yes. Okay, looking at this current situation now, what can you say are the key focus that are driving, based from your background as someone who is rooted in security? What can you say are the main focus, the main drivers of food insecurity we have and hunger in the land?
The main driver is not just poverty. We just say poverty. Corruption is part of it.
Yeah.
Because we have more than enough in this country, part of the world, to actually cater, even if not 100%, at least 60%. We don't have any reason to be part of this food insecurity all over the world, because we are blessed. So while studying and getting more involved and interacting with these people, I realize that the major concern is the level of corruption and wicked leadership we have, without mixing words. Wicked leadership we have. And that can actually, if we take care of that, if we handle that, we should be able to, reduce the level of insecurity we have in this country. So that automatically will help reduce the level of insecurity. So the issue of food security boils down to what the negligence, the wickedness of our leaders in the system.
So how can we improve security? Because we can't talk about farming now and not talk about security. And we've seen majorly that states that have been hit the most within the North region, Borno, Zamfara, and all. If we go to IDP camps, we get to see people mostly from those regions. How can the improvements, based on your background in security, how can we see improvement in the security force that can help aid these farmers go back to farm so as they can continue feeding the nation as they are doing? And good meaning Nigerians like you too would find it a bit easier to be able to, continue the good work you've been doing.
Yes. Truth be told, like I said earlier, is the issue of corruption. Or still boiled down to corruption. You're talking about the farmers.
Yes.
There's no way, because part of the food, the shortage of food and what have you, hunger in our system today, boils down to the farmers.
Yeah.
Because the farmers, they are not secured.
Okay.
They cannot go to farm. Whatever they have there, going there will be a lot of problem for them to even go there to harvest what they've planted.
Yes.
And what is the support from the government, for crying out loud? There are a lot of, coming to the agricultural aspect, a lot of things that, yes, budgeted things, fertilizer, other things, means of transportation that were there, but only one person will just go and engulf this thing. So if we cannot reach out to the local farmers, the long and short of it is the government, to answer your questions, we have to go back to what? Community policing. It is very important.
Okay.
Community policing. I say so because the so-called community, the people you think there, I will come back because I'm a Warri boy, born and bred up.
Yes.
We have something, there's an adage in Warri that says, "Who not get kitchen, they buy fresh fish because you not get where to cook them." So, and there's no way anybody can come in there in your own community to come and, threaten people and what. It can't go. That person cannot move. So that's why we must go back to community policing. And I am an advocate of community policing. Once you get there, honestly speaking, if you're transparent, all these things is going to be a thing of the past.
You know,
We can sleep with our two eyes closed.
the president is working towards, inaugurating the community policing, and I can see we are actually getting to that conversation, but it's very clear that you are someone who is also a very strong advocate of community policing, because when something happens within your locality, you would know who is a visitor and who is not meant to even be around in case things are going wrongly. But let's look at the economic impact of the whole and social impact of the current high rise of food, and now the incidents are going on within the United States, Israel, and Iran has made the fuel price now in some filling stations, almost all the filling stations here in Abuja and also outside Abuja, on a high scale, amounting to around 1,090 naira, some stations 1,095 naira. How do you think this recent increase in PMS price would affect the cost of food items that are already high for a common Nigerian man?
Yes, that is one. The fact that it's a global issue,
Yes.
we have to see how to manage it. However, if our government are serious, we have more than enough to subsidize for this challenge we're facing now. We have more than enough to subsidize for it. Once you subsidize it, then of course the common man will not complain.
Yeah.
Because with this increase, definitely it's going to affect the farmers out there, the means of transportation and what have you. It will affect them.
Yes.
And not just them alone. It's going to be a recycle and
Yes.
down to everybody
in
going
the
to have
villages,
yes,
in
the
the
villages
communities
and what have
in
you.
the cities.
So the government need to up their game. And the only way to up their game is to see what they can do to subsidize. So we should be part of this global issue. Why? Because we're not part of it. We're not going to be involved one way or the other, even though we have our own challenges here. But we can still do something that will make the common man feel comfortable to some extent.
Yes, we have refineries in Nigeria, but so far now the only one that we know that is working properly is Dangote's refinery. We have one in Kaduna, we have those in Warri, and you're someone that I know who would understand the system properly about how those refineries are. If those refineries were to be working and we get to refine our own products here, do you think we would be having these concerns, or we would even flinch for a second if the global community is having issues based on how blessed we are as a nation with mineral resources? And also, talking about food insecurity and malnutrition now, how do you think this affects children in terms of their nutrition and also education? You are a father, I'm sure you make sure your children eat properly before going to school so they can learn. What then can be done for an average Nigerian man who is on the street, the woman selling in the market? How do you think, all of our refineries working and also having security would help improve their daily livelihoods?
I'll still boil down to what we said earlier on. The government,
Yes.
If they are being considerate, if they are reasonable, if they are not wicked leaders as they have presently, many of them, in fact, almost all of them, not just many of them, if they are not, we should be able to handle whatever challenge we're having now, so that we agree it's a global issue. But however, it is what we can handle because we have the resources. By the special grace of God, we've been endowed with the resources to handle these things. So why not? So it's still boiled down to the government we have. We believe that things will change, and whatever is happening out there, we are a blessed nation already. We have all it takes to be better than other nations out there.
Okay, as a president, let's talk about security now fully. As a president of Focus Guard Security Agency, you are the founder. I'm certain you are very familiar with the current threats going on within the country. Most recently, we saw over 100 people being abducted in Kwara State. Over the weekend, we saw some alleged bandits, releasing a video of over 300 people who have been kidnapped. What do you think is the root cause of this insecurity and kidnapping and banditry that we've been seeing, and the massive rise within the trend? Because this has been on for over a decade. It started with just Boko Haram, and then it grew in the east region. We saw unknown gunmen. In the middle belt, we saw bandits. In other parts of the country, we saw kidnappers. What has been rather the major drivers of the massive trend of insecurity that we are witnessing? Does it have to do with lack of jobs or what have you?
First and foremost, the truth is that let's not deceive ourselves. If you handle, and that is what has been happening, we handle security matters politically. What result do you expect? You expect political results.
Yes.
If you handle security matter politically, you're going to get political results. And that is what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
Truth be told, they know what to do. If they really want to work, they know what to do. They know who to reach out to, whether you like it or not. When you reach out to the right people, you get the right result, regardless their political affiliation. You're neither here nor there. If you want to be a security consultant, you want to be a security person, be a security person. Don't go into politics and what have you. Then do your core job and you get a better result. And the president and the leaders should think about that. Say, okay, they spend so much on training of our security personnel out there. So they have all it takes. They have, so for instance, I'm digressing a little.
Yes.
Our pipeline today is well protected, whether they like it or not, compared to what they used to have in the past.
Yeah.
Check the results.
Yeah.
It's there for everyone. I'm privileged to be part of those that don't protection.
Yeah.
Whether you say they are doing illegal and what have you, it's inconsequential. Are you having results or not? You're having results.
Of course, you can have results with the number of
Yes.
4 trillion. The Senate has released
Yes.
about 4 trillion.
So what are we not talking about?
For that pipeline to be secured.
To be secured.
Yes, and then
But they are getting the results
Results, yes.
compared to your profit margin and what have you, which is because it's not, the contractor's business.
Yes.
So long as you're having result, and if the pipeline still having that kind of result as expected, and the past those results that were not there, then of course we cannot even meet up our budgets and what have you.
Yeah.
The truth be told, we're working because we know what to do. We know who to, like I said earlier on, we not get kitchen, not they buy fresh fish.
True.
We know who and who to meet, who and who to touch. Don't ever go there. We know what to do. So same thing in the north and this Boko Haram and what have you issue. It is what they can handle. They're just handling politically.
Yeah.
And the results we definitely get is political results.
Yeah. Last week the Senate, summoned the committee in charge of the pipelines and securing it, set up a panel saying that they want to probe those in charge, the bodies in charge, managing those pipelines based on the fact that they've not been living up to expectation. What's your reaction to that?
Without mixing words,
Yes.
the report card is there. So if they say they are not getting results, all those probing and what have you, it's all political issue as well, whether they like it or not.
It means somebody is not eating.
Somebody is not getting, somebody is not getting, he's not even entitled to what he wants.
Yes.
Maybe he wants more. Because many people strive, many people, enjoy and get more when we have crisis. That is their calling. They want problem. If we start having crisis in Niger Delta, for instance, now, why not? They will be very happy because that is where they can put. You see, this issue they call security votes. Security vote is the easiest way to loot. They keep looting. Yes, we're having issues. If the place is too silent, too quiet, too calm,
no money is moving.
No money is moved. They will not like it. They will go, send, let's dust the place. Do something so that they will know that we're working. And if it's not happening,
and demand for more money.
If it's not happening, that is where they start making. Yes, there's nothing wrong. You want to check and balance.
Yes.
You want to audit.
Audit.
Invite them. Nothing wrong.
Yes.
But if you're seeing results, you can only do more of auditing as an organization if you are losing steady. That is not to say you should not your auditing. You should, of course, you should go ahead and do your auditing to see what profits you're making. But truth be told, they should go ahead and say, look, bravo, these contractors, you've tried.
Yes.
These contractors, you've done enough, you've done well, not just enough. Keep trying and improve on the protection of the pipeline, which is just the only, I don't want to use the only, which is just the major source of income to the nation as we speak.
Agriculture used to be the mother of everything.
That was then. Because with this issue of, herdsmen and banditry,
yes.
that, of course, it reduces it. That's why they still need to go back to that thing and see how we can.
Late former head of state, General Sani Abacha, once said that any insecurity concern that lasts more than 24 hours.
The government is involved, yes.
So how true? And you have also made a comment like that.
Because the government has all the machineries.
There's something you mentioned about political security.
Yes. You handle it politically and you're going to get political results. If the government knows what to do, if we've been going out there, the UN and what have you, support Liberia, support that, and they get results, why can't we do the same here? We can do better because we have all it takes to handle it.
Okay. We've talked about security in those aspects, and then you've also mentioned the fact that, politics and security should not be in the same sentence. From what you've emphasized on, you've emphasized that politics is meant to totally be a part, and then security as well to be a part. But let's come back to us here in terms of food now, because we saw you giving out food in the month of January. You did a couple of outreach for 3 weeks stretch. You were giving out food on a daily, and you continue the same trajectory again this current period during the fast of Ramadan. That's something you are doing as an individual, and you also want people to have food on their table to eat, after their fast. Now, this brings me to this question. Do you think that Nigeria is producing enough? Because we are blessed with good soil. Like, you can literally just throw a seed of tomatoes or pepper at the back of your house, give it a couple of days, it starts springing up. It's not everywhere in the world that you can see a fertile soil like that. Do you think that Nigeria is enhancing those qualities and potential soils that we have to produce more than what we want, and even export outside the country? Because we've noticed that despite all of the war going on between Russia and Ukraine, they haven't come out to say that they're running short of food, and they are still transporting food. So how well do you think Nigeria would be able to improve in enhancing the quality of soils that we have to help aid us having enough to eat and also to sell to other nations of the world?
Okay. Truth be told, like I said earlier on, Nigeria, Africa, let's narrow it out to Nigeria now. We are a blessed country. We are blessed without mixing what we are truly blessed. You just mentioned something. Just throw your fresh pepper, throw it somewhere, it will germinate. That is the level of blessing.
Yeah.
However, you talk about me sharing food and what have you.
Yes.
I have passion for service to humanity. And that I've been doing for years. For years. And it's been working. I've been single-handedly handling this project from going to about how many years now. People knows me very well. I do that without mixing word. No government support, no foreign support, and no individual. Except once in a while, a friend will just say, "Okay, I'm seeing what you're doing. I want to contribute and get part of the blessing. Bring a bag of rice." No, but I don't want to say what I spent on a yearly basis to do this feeding. Like that of January, we did minimum of about on a daily basis for about 1,500, 2,000 on a daily basis for the 21 days. Not because I have so much, but because, and the truth be told, people look forward to that day. And I just believe too, those are part of crime reduction.
Okay.
Because if you're hungry, you will even take care of, you want to go into any crime, any kind of vice to make sure that you get what you want. But these people that are into this crime, by the time you're privileged to discuss with some of them, interview them, go to the cell. I go to cell to talk to them, meet them. What they get after the so-called crime is nothing to talk about. If, for instance, I know it's a public television, I need to say it. If, for instance, an armed robber succeed in getting 10 million, truth is that How many of them are involved in the deal? The operation.
Yes.
They have bosses that they remit to. They have cartel that you must
Remit to.
So at the end of the day, individual might not even get up to 50. Which 1 million? 50,000. But when you find out that this 50,000 you're getting now is too small, and what the total amount looted was 10 million.
Yes.
So what do you now do? You say, "No, I want to break out. Let me go and do it."
Yes.
But if you don't have what it takes to do it, then they catch you. You understand?
Yeah.
Nobody will go and bail you. Nobody will go and talk to them. But if you are still in this part of this cartel, your bosses and what have you will go and see who they want to see to make sure. So that's why if you feed them, they're ready to tell you the problem. They're ready to tell you how to handle everything, how to reduce, how to handle issues when it happens. I'm a security because I'm not mixing. Whatever I get from my security services, that is what I channel back to the foundation. Because people will ask, how do you, that is where I channel back. Whatever kind of negotiation I will go in there, whatever kind of criminal I will go in there and talk to them. And they will listen because they know this man is transparent, he's not a politician.
Yes.
I don't give food because I want your vote. I don't give food because I want you to support this party. I give you food because I don't want you to go into crime.
Yes.
I give you job because I don't want you to go into crime. Either male or female, it interests you to know too that I have an orphanage.
Okay.
Because when you into drug, because we are into rehabilitation of drug addicts. And how do I do it? I do that by not quarantine, by engaging them into skill acquisition. I have about 6 different skills: tailoring, graphic, catering, help, you come there, you learn free. By the time you spend some time there, you won't even think of going back to the street to go and be part of those challenges out there.
You know, that is from everything you're saying now. You're saying that the government needs to do more in terms of job
100% job creation. If you don't want to, if you know you cannot do it, then look for the NGOs that are genuine, because many of them too are very dubious. They know what they are doing with the NGOs. They just register the NGO for purpose, reasons best known to them. Look for the genuine, go back to their track record and past record and what have you. Partnership with them, see how you can channel most of these people through them and get a better result. And you see that it will reduce the crime rate in our society. Whether you like it or not. So those are the things I am clamoring for. Especially the ladies. If you reach out to the widows and what have you, those are single parents. Most of the criminal cases we have, if you trace it, to go back to, most of the children are from single parents and widows. Most of them. Not because they are bad, they don't have, they know how to take, but these children don't want to see their mother suffering. So they want to go at any length to make their mother happy. But they are still the best, whether you like it or not. That single parents and widows are still the best people to actually empower. And once you empower them, you go to bed and sleep, because they're going to help you to complete the job by reducing crime rate in our society. So they shouldn't be neglected. Where a manner in which we can reach out to them, and they will be very pleased to assist us to do part of this insecurity we're having all over the country. Let me talk about, I'm narrowing that to Nigeria. Yes, all over the country, and they will help. Whether you like it or not, reach out to the single parents and widows. They will give you the best. They know how to talk to the children. They know how to talk to the youths and what have you. Out of 60% of the youths, they will tell you that whatever I'm doing, whatever crime, go to the cell and make your interview. They will tell you, I'm doing this because of my mother, not because of my father. So, however, if you can take care of the mother, then the mother will make sure it takes care of the youths without them going to the street to give you more problem that will bargain for.
Is the women's month? Is the women's month happy International Women's
Day?
Coincidentally, and actually, like you mentioned, without a woman, there is no future. There's no nation. But now let's look at Bank of Agriculture now. You know, there are a lot of initiatives that have been created by the government and all for farmers, but most of the time, like you mentioned, they should make sure things get down to the farmers and to the grassroots. But most of the time, reverse has been the case. The initiatives, the loans, and the monies.
Let me shock you again?
Yes, please shock me.
Another very easy way to loot is through agriculture. Through agriculture, they have foreign aids and what have you. They don't report it. They have foreign supports. The agricultural department, ministry and what have you, is another very easy way to loot. And they know. So reach out, whatever fertilizer, whatever grant you have from the foreign bodies, whatever assistance you have, because they know Africa, not just Nigeria, they are hungry.
Yes.
And they are a lot of support from foreign bodies. What is happening to those things? Those things actually get to the grassroots? If it does, then we shouldn't be complaining about food insecurity. Food security. We shouldn't be complaining about it because they assist regularly. So
that means
audit that area, and you know that most of these things are not actually getting to where you're supposed to get to.
Yes.
If you get to those places, I don't think we'll have too much challenges as part of food security as we think.
So what can be done now to be able to have those things? Because we've seen due to this crisis now that is going on within the US, Iran, and Israel, United Nations have put a hold for the fact that AIDS cannot go round. Currently, everything is on hold based on reports that we saw last week from the UN General Secretary. So let's narrow it down to Nigeria, and we're the FCT, we're the capital. So Bank of Agriculture now, what do you think now? What initiative do you think? What practical steps do you think the government needs to take or people need to take so as to be able to audit the Bank of Agriculture and make sure that whatever grants that comes from the government and international bodies gets to those in the grassroots, that's the main farmers? What practical steps can be put in place to achieve all of this?
Engage accredited NGOs.
Okay.
And you hold them responsible if you don't get results. Sign an agreement. If this happen, apart from blackmailing the NGO, arrest the founder, arrest the BOT, the Board of Trustees. By the time you arrest 1, 2, 3, they will know that it's a serious business. If you're not going to be transparent, then get out of the scene. That is my own advice. Let them go through the NGOs to get most of these things done. Because if you go through the politicians, you're still going to get the same results. They will just believe that the money I spent during election, what I did, I want to gain them back, not just getting them back. Now, if you're not going to vote for me, I'm not going to give you this bag of fertilizer. I'm giving you this bag of fertilizer, and I will even crest my name on it that, look, vote for so and so person. If not, you will not get a bag of this fertilizer. And of course, they need it. They want to vote. Even though at the end of the day they might not, but then they'll still. So let's not use it politically. Reach the NGOs. NGOs are not expected to be politicians. Yes, politicians can open NGO, but you need to watch them with your 2 eyes to be sure that this NGO you are opening now want is not because of the politics. You should be able to reach out to the less privileged, the needy. I don't like calling them less privileged, the needy. Serve humanity genuinely. We have, apart from the also registered NGOs, we have Rotary Club, we have Lions Club, we have, go through them and make good use of them. They should be able to reach out to the grassroots. So that is my own suggestion. It's my opinion anyway, which of course I'm entitled to.
Yes, of course you're entitled. You made mention of subsidy earlier, government subsidizing, I think that was the first official move of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he assumed office. The first thing he said was fuel subsidy has been removed. Now, fuel subsidy was being serviced by the previous administration, and monies are being saved are supposed to be saved from the first subsidy removal since the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. Do you think that the monies that have been saved from fuel subsidy removal has actually been channeled into infrastructural growth and agriculture and security for Nigerians based on the statistics that we have on ground with the trend of food insecurity, kidnappings? Every week in, week out, we get to see reports of individuals being kidnapped from either schools, and the majority of these people that have been kidnapped are women and children. Do you think that the government of the day has actually saved up money from fuel subsidy removal and has injected it back into the system? And if that has happened, do you think we would have been seeing the results or the activities of what we are seeing now?
Again, truth be told, security is everybody's business. And security is very expensive. If you think security is not expensive, try insecurity. So what they've been putting in as per security, at least they've tried. But it's less. That's why we need to get down to the grassroots and the community policing.
Yeah.
We've tried. It's not easy. Because most of this issue of security, most of them, truth again, the budget, you cannot, if you want to talk about the budget, it happens anytime. If you budget 10 million, for instance, what will happen at the end of the day? You might end up spending 20, 25 million. Because apart from the intelligence gathering and other equipment that you need and other many things, to be very, intelligence gathering, you cannot quantify it, you cannot place a tag on that. Yes, this equipment, if you are buying this equipment, maybe an APC is 10 million, blah, 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 you can go. But the gathering aspect, you cannot. So for that, even if they channel the whole money to security, it's not still enough. I must be realistic.
So you're saying now, for what you're saying now, community policing is the way forward.
The way forward.
Yes.
Yes, because you'll be definitely held accountable for anything that happens in your community. Yes.
Okay. All right. A quick one before I let you go. I know you're a very busy man. So what are your final takes for the country that's Bank of Agriculture, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Minister of Agriculture in practical steps they could take in reducing and curbing the high cost of food items in the market and producing more for the people generally?
They should engage accredited NGOs and hold them responsible. Let them get to the grassroots and see what to do, because most of them know what to do, not just answering the need. Go and do the needful. By the time you do the needful, nobody, apart from security, agency that would be with them as per the insecurity in those areas. Why not? They can go reach out to these local farmers and give them what they need to do this thing. We are blessed. We're endowed with all these wonderful, things we have given to us by God. Why not use it? We can use it. Get to the grassroots and we can get better results. And Nigeria will be one of the first to get one among the countries that are supplying and exporting food products.
What is your biggest drive or your biggest dream for Shola Mansi Foundation based on, outreaches and, giving out scholarships and, what are the biggest goals that you've set and how do you look to achieve them?
Yes, like I said earlier, Shola Mansi Foundation was born out of passion for service to humanity. Like we have tanker that goes around to communities that don't have water to give them free water. Maybe you see the tankers in Abuja as is. Yes, you do that. Shola Mansi Foundation, like I said again, born out of passion for service to humanity, to reduce crime rate in our society. Majorly to reduce, apart from service to humanity, reduce crime rate in our society. If you handle humanity and you serve them properly, definitely crime rate will reduce automatically. So our major goal is to reduce crime rate in our society and touch humanity, serve humanity genuinely. The issue of scholarship and whatever, we already have a training center. Our training center, as we speak, it's running year in, year out. We don't have a once you graduate, we've graduated more than 700 youths. It's on record. You can check. And many of them are ambassadors of Shola Mansi Foundation today. Those that were bastardized, drugs and whatever, that were neglected, that doesn't have friends, I hug them. My best friend are those ones in the slum. I go there, I sit with them, I have fun with them. And they will tell me things they won't tell other people. So once you show drug addicts, they lack genuine love, you're going to get the best results. Because if you take them to, in the name of quarantine and whatever, they only tell them quarantine. When I go there, I will come back. But sit down with them and talk to them one-on-one. Show them love. They're definitely going to renounce that bad habit of being a drug addict. It is out of peer group, broken homes, and many other things that actually make these people to say, okay, let me go into drugs. And don't forget, when they go in there, they don't need to have money. When you go to that joint where they smoke drugs, where they take drugs and whatever, you don't need to have money. They share. They share love. They share love.
Yes.
You don't have to do, okay, this full one, 5 of us will share it. So why won't you go to where they show them love? They will go there. So show them love. They will stay at home and listen to you, not just telling them, get out, you drug addict, don't smoke, I give money, I go smoke. Hello. Talk to that person and that person will listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shola, for taking our time to join us on today's edition of Discourse. All of your impactful points. We're hoping the government would look into that and also pay close attention to improving the livelihood of Nigerians. Food is something very major that individuals need for their day-to-day activities, and the more food we have, the more economic generation we get. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has projected a GDP growth of 1 trillion naira from now till the year 2030. Now, questions are being asked: what if you don't emerge as a president in the 2027 election? What would now happen to that projection? Some persons have argued that a reasonable incoming president would want to continue with that trajectory, but still, there are different policies. Now, critics have argued that Nigeria don't produce much as that which they consume. Now, production is something that needs to be invested in. Aside from that, also the issue around insecurity is something that needs to be tackled properly, because the percentage is on the rise, as we can see in different IDP camps all over the country, of individuals from rural communities that have argued and said that they are farmers from their communities and they can't go back home to farm because of either Boko Haram concern, kidnappers, farmers headers clash, or what have you. Banditry has all chased them to be internally displaced, and now they are dependent on NGOs and the government, which help them most of the times come as swiftly as expected. So on today's edition, we've been able to x-ray all of these major conversations, and we're hoping to see that swift actions will be done in terms of improving the welfare of people that are internally displaced, and practical steps are being taken to deliver them back to their communities so as they can continue doing what they do best, which is farming and producing for the country, and also heading towards the trajectory of what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says of improving Nigeria's GDP to 1 trillion naira. The major drivers of this would have to be food and other utilities, oil and gas and what have you. So this is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of Discuss. My name is Samuel Odi. I'll see you again as we discuss further. Bye for now.